Elliot and the Evil Sorcerer, Warlock series. Penned by Ryland Mason, narrated by Brian Shepherd.
Episode 3, Father. With the pages of the book coming to life, words could be seen on the pages as Elliot read on. I am glad you are safe. I felt worry and fear. You must have questions, the book wrote. Of course Elliot had questions. First, who is the Fey King? What is it saying? His aunt asked as she looked over his shoulder in anticipation. He's glad I'm safe, and he felt when I was in danger. I'm beginning to think that it was him who sent the fireburst out of the book. He knows I have questions, yet I have so many, Elliot said as he just stared at the book. Well, there's only one way to find the answers, yet I feel as if someone knows that the Fey King is in contact with you. I know just the person who would not be too happy with the news. Lord Avidian, she said with a look of disgust. Of course, her distaste for the man goes way back, even before he overthrew his nephew. Lord Avidian was a cruel and evil man with no disregard for how he treated others around him, selfish, greedy, and full of hate. However, very powerful. Of course, always slithering around him like a snake is Snithers. Snithers will do anything for Lord Avidian, and should, as he is the private secretary. Whatever the Lord commands, Snithers is right there to carry out the order. Short, yet thin as a rail, black hair and yellow eyes, Snithers is a shifter and can change into any animal he chooses. Another bonus for Lord Avidian, as Snithers makes a perfect spy. Elliot then turned back to the book. He needed answers. All right, mate. Tell me, who are you? Elliot asked as he waited for what the book would say, for the name that belonged to his mate. Elliot waited a few more minutes before he noticed it flip a couple of pages ahead to reveal what looked like an oil painting. A painting of the great Fey King. Hair silver, tall, slender, yet built, and blue eyes. A very attractive man, for sure. Underneath the portrait was his seal, also a name. King Elric of House Ransea. Where are you, Elric? Was his second question. Yet this time there was no answer. At that moment, there was a knock at the door as it opened. Derek and Allie have been waiting for some answers as well. Their job was to look after Elliot. Becoming best friends was an added bonus. Now, where he went, they went. The book began to write. Elliot waited before he could see a name. Lord Mabry. Lord Mabry, he said out loud, as he was trying to figure out what this meant and who is Lord Mabry. Lord Mabry? I know of him, but I've never met him. However, he is, was the king's advisor. He, too, was sent away after refusing to pledge his loyalty to Avidian. If I recall hearing right, he turned Mabry into a toad for a month. If I'm not mistaken, he's made it to your father's kingdom, Derek said, as Ellie stepped forward and spoke. Did you stop to think that technically you're a prince? And now the prince consort to the Fey King? Oh my God, this is the best news ever. I better be invited to the wedding. A Fey wedding! They're so beautiful. From what I heard, anyway, she pointed out. She has a point, which Elliot never really thought about. Kind of slipped his mind as he has more important things to figure out. Now, how to get to his father's kingdom. Where is this kingdom, and how do I find it? he asked as he looked at all three. Using magic to reach the realm of kingdom hasn't worked since Allie and I came through 21 years ago, Derek said, with a snap of his fingers. He must have figured something out. The magpie, he managed to say before Allie interrupted. That means we can go back. Maybe I can try to open a portal, she beamed. Allie wanted to go back, as she had a life and friends waiting for her. Derek, on the other hand, could care less. There really wasn't anyone waiting for him back home. He was hoping to stick with Elliot and Allie as they were the only family he had after his master was killed years ago during the Great War. Elliot, you must go to see your father. Derek, Allie, you are to accompany him and make sure that he gets there safe. I will join you as soon as I deal with our outdoor issue. Make sure to grab what you need. And for God's sakes, Elliot, put that book in a bag so you can carry it around, his aunt said as he ran upstairs to his room to change and grab whatever he needed for the journey. Unless the portal zaps them right there, he thought as he stuffed the book into his bag. Ready to go and headed back downstairs, where he could hear his aunt performing a barrier spell to keep the magpie out, while all three portal to the realm of kingdoms. Meeting Derek and Allie in the study, he found Allie casting the portal spell. You'll be fine. No need to be scared, Derek said as he noticed the look of doubt and worry on Elliot. What's to worry about? We will just walk right up to my father's door. Easy, Elliot said, confident that this is how the portal worked. Derek just smiled. No, Elliot, we're not sure where we portal to, yet it will be close enough to where we need to go, he said as a large circle of light appeared before them. What almost looked like a large glass window, as Elliot was looking at a forest. Time to go, his aunt said from the doorway. Good luck, Elliot. I'll see you soon, she said as Allie went first. Then Derek, placing his hand on Elliot's shoulder, motioned for him to go first. Like that, Elliot was now standing in a plush green forest with dense trees all around. He could smell the forest, leaves, and even feel the roots of each of the trees as he stared around him. So where are they? And what a pretty raven. Never seen one so big, Elliot thought to himself as he stared up into a tree to see a raven, just quietly watching Elliot and his friends. Oh my God, that actually worked, she said as she jumped up and down and then ran over to Derek, shaking him to be excited. They were back home, in the realm of kingdoms. Derek just rolled his eyes. They did not have time for idle chat and dancing around. They were on a mission, to get to the Warlock King in one piece. It was now time to figure out exactly where they were, as the portal only would bring them so far. Sadly, not to exactly where they wanted to be. Derek's senses didn't pick up any other vampires in the surrounding area, so he knew they had to be pretty far out. And according to Allie, she too didn't sense anything. So that would mean that they're pretty much on the outskirts of the realm of kingdoms. Elliot was beside himself as he gazed around, as he's never really left Exeter that much. Maybe a few trips to Tanglewood in the Berkshires. This was different. He was now standing in a forest, in a fantasy realm, a different universe. This is the home of the paranormals. His aunt had explained that there's more than just your typical witches, warlocks, and vampires. In the realm of kingdoms, you had Rensea, which was perched up in the mountains among the big beautiful pine and maple trees. Ransea was a bustling city with many people who came from all walks of life. Most, if not all, paranormals were allowed to reside here as part of an open-door policy, which was signed after the Great War. Ransea became a safe haven, and the other kingdoms helped by means of trade. The city stood tall, with buildings made of granite and marble, street markets selling fine clothing, handmade jewelry, fruits, and vegetables. Placed in the back of the city was the Fey Palace, almost church-like, with beautiful steeples adorned with gold leaves. The outside had been plastered and whitewashed. Boasting close to at least 50 rooms, it is the largest in the city. Close to it would be the Great Meeting Hall. To the left and down into the shadows of the mountain is the Vampire's Clan. Buildings made from the stone at the bottom of the mountain make for simple yet elegant houses and buildings. Dark and in between the trees, the vampires, believe it or not, were responsible for hunting and maintaining wildlife population in the area. The hunt also brought much needed food for trade. Vampires here fed off the animals. Feeding off others was forbidden. Then went for using magic against others as well. That is forbidden. All part of the treaty and open-door policy. To the right, and a bit further out and downriver, is the Warlock Kingdom, nestled just a few miles from the sea. King Arius Fairchild ruled fairly and just. Being down mountain and closer to the sea, they used more wood to create their city, however used stone foundations. The town was filled with small trees and flowers. Most of the fruits and vegetables were grown here, as there was more land which was fertile. Fish from the river also gathered. Everyone got along. Witches, warlock, vampires, mermaids, mermen, shifters, fae, and now with Lord Avidius taking over, only chaos is what Derek and Ellie expect, as all three now make their way through the woods. What could possibly go wrong?
The end. This has been Elliot and the Evil Sorcerer Warlock series. Penned by Rylan Mason. Narrated by Brian Shepherd. Production copyright 2022.